Sometimes at recess, people ask me if I'm a robot because I have an insulin pump on my stomach. Every 3 days we have to put it somewhere different, on my arms or my stomach.
When Trent was 2 years old, I started noticing some signs that I thought that he might have type 1 diabetes. He was having to go to the bathroom very frequently, several times an hour. He was always thirsty, begging for something to drink, some weight loss, and I knew those were signs of type 1, so I took him to the doctor and asked her to check him, and his blood glucose reading that day was very high, and we went to Vanderbilt the next morning, followed by several months of appointments and classes and visits to learn how to take care of him. We check his blood sugar 4 to 6, sometimes 8 times a day, depending on what he's doing that day. We do that with a blood test, prick on his finger. We have to monitor what he eats so we know how much insulin to give him. When you have type 1 diabetes, you can eat whatever you want within moderation. You do not have to eat sugar-free foods. We check the carbohydrates, that's what we count. If you ever are with us at a restaurant or at home, you'll notice that we're counting how many chips are on his plate, how much ketchup did he put on his cheeseburger, how many grapes did you give him. It's because we count to know that we give him the proper amount of insulin. His blood sugar can get very high or very low quickly. Things that affect it are him being tired, being active, a growth spurt, hormones, being sick, nervous. Anything that he's dealing with that's new, his body may handle that in a different way, and his blood sugar can get high or low, which is why we check him so often.
When I'm high, it feels the same as when I'm low. And when I'm low, it feels like I'm tired. At school, I have to check myself before lunch. After lunch, I have to show my nurse what I ate before I can dump my tray, so she can dose me for what I ate.
He would get 4 to 6 insulin injections every day. Some of you have been with us since the beginning and you know that he no longer gets the injections, he wears an insulin pump. It's a pod device. You may see it on his arm, his stomach, his thigh. We move it every 3 days. That device gives him his insulin. We have a meter that we type things into and it communicates wirelessly and it tells him how much insulin he needs to receive.
My favorite thing to do is play outside in the pool. I like to play basketball and baseball. I want to be a professional baseball player when I grow up.
Trent's very athletic. He plays baseball and basketball, and he doesn't let diabetes affect him. Sometimes he even asks if we can put his pod in a certain place so it doesn't affect his baseball swing or get in the way. He takes everything in stride. He doesn't let anything really affect him that much. Diabetes hasn't really slowed him down.
Just because I have diabetes doesn't mean I'm different than you. I just have to check my blood sugar and give me insulin.
There's a big difference in type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Of all the people that have diabetes, depending on which statistic you read, only 5 to 10% of those have type 1. It's typically diagnosed as a child. Your body no longer produces any insulin. There's nothing that you can do to prevent it. There's nothing that you can do to cure it. There's no magic pill, a new diet, exercise, lifestyle change. When you hear those things and someone no longer has diabetes or they've done something to reverse it, that is typically referring to type 2 diabetes. Some of you may know that also this year Trent was diagnosed with celiac disease. It is also an autoimmune disease, and there is a correlation between celiac disease and type 1 diabetes. You will see now that he does have some dietary restrictions, but not because of the type 1 at all, because of the celiac. He has to eat a gluten-free diet. Gluten is anything that has barley, rye, wheat, or malt. It's not just in foods and drinks and gum, candy, shampoo, sunscreen, lip balm, Play-Doh, yeah, you name it, it might have gluten in it. He's doing a great job with this as well. All of our friends and family, the teachers and staff at school have been great, and we're adjusting to that too. If you don't maintain a gluten-free diet, that also can lead to intestinal cancer, stunted growth, delayed puberty, more things that we try to stay on top of, so that he hopefully will not have to deal with those things in the future.
We walk for Team Trent because to raise enough money to find a cure.
The first year that we had the walk, Trent was 3 years old the first time we had a team, and after the walk, when we got in the car, we were in the front seat and he was in the back, and he said, "Well, do I still have diabetes?" And he thought that when we walked around the park that it was cured. And when we said, "No, bud, I'm sorry, you still do," he was fine. He went with it, and that's how he is. That is why it's so important to us. That's why we still walk, so that one day we can tell him, "No, you don't have diabetes anymore." We have so many people that tell us every day that they pray for Trent and that they think about Trent, and we appreciate that and ask that you continue to pray for Trent and to pray for all the children that have type 1. To help in a more financial way to contribute to the team, you can go to his team website. You can register there to walk with us on that day, to become a team member, or to be a virtual walker. Any of the support that you can give to Team Trent is very much appreciated.
I want for Bubby because he has diabetes. I want there to be a cure for diabetes because I don't want my Bubba to get shots. I want there to be a cure so I don't have to have diabetes anymore. Thank you to everybody that walks on Team Trent every year.